Hello, Internetians. My name is Josh, aka Ultra Player, your coach of the New York Metagross. Woo! Newly rebranded, by the way. Check out that thumbnail. Check out the logo. Do I have the logo on here? I don't. Let me add that. Let me image. Anyway, I am. Shout out to Kriselke for the brand new logo that she commissioned me for. I commissioned her for. Go check her out. She's really, really good. And there it is. There it is. There it is. Bam! There's my new logo. Look at that beauty. Look at it. Shout out to Kriselke for making that for me. It is absolutely beautiful. So, with that out of the way, that beautiful ass logo, Discord's on. We are here for ICBA. I believe this is going to be week number 5. We are going against EXP Awesome, coach of the Boston Togetics. So be sure to go check him out in the description below. And his team is, I believe he made some free agencies right before this match. I'm not sure if they were for me. However, I was very okay with these because I'm kind of okay with, really like facing these. So without further ado, let's jump into his team, shall we? I hope. Did I put the right team? Nope. I just thought about that before I said it. Hold on. There it is. Properties, select region. Just thought about that way too late. Yep, alright. So that's his team. You'll see that other team next week, because that's next week's team. That's Omega Jolteons. But anyway, this is his team, and if you know me, you know my history, you know what I like, you know what I dislike. You see that first mon. So you already know today's going to be trouble. Greninja, specifically Protean Greninja, very, very, very big threat against my team, as I don't have good switch-ins to it. It really can just run a full-on physical set. What was the set that I was predicting? I believe it was Rock Slide, Night Slash, Low Kick, Ice Punch. 6-0's me. 6-0's me. My switch would be into that would be Celesteela, which gets like 2-shot by Low Kick after rocks. So that's a really big threat, and it's really annoying. He has an Excadrill, no stand, thank you, bless. Can't really do a lot to some of my team members. Probably there for a Rock Setter, Rapid Spinner, Mold Breaker, etc. Dragonite, very big threat. Not looking forward to facing that. I do believe that is one of his Z-Mons, specifically. Yeah, he has, his Z-Mons are, that Aldino, Swallow, and the Regigigas. So, Dragonite a really big threat, especially if it's weakness policy, just based on the way my team is. Nothing can really break through it, nothing can really kill it through its weakness, its multi-scale. So I definitely expect a weakness policy kind of set with Dragon Dance. He has a Scolipede, which can set hazards, can also run SD, can also do some other things like setting up Swords Dance. Can't run a Z move, so it's going to have trouble breaking through stuff like my Empoleon plus my Gliscor plus my Galot. Yeah, he has a Crocodile, which is a great Scarfer, has a Stealth Rocks, a few other things. Wow. Very semi-one-dimensional. It can run Intimidate, it can run Moxie, but it's a physical attacker. So, yes, Swallow. Swallow is a threat. Specs Boom Burst is, of course, a really big problem to switch into, especially since it outspeeds everything on my team, and it can be a threat in that kind of sense. Also has access to U-Turn, also going to be a Gut Sweeper with the Flame Orb, and, of course, Facade. So, yay to that. Hoopa, very, very scary wall breaker, kind of, like, destroys everything on my team outside of stuff like Empoleon and Drapion. Even maybe a Licky to a point, depending on what it's running and everything. Focus Blast, of course, is definitely coming if he decides to bring that. Very scared of this, especially as spec set, since it basically just 2 KOs on everything on my team. However, I have plenty of mons that do outspeed such a threat. Now then, he has the Togetic. Togetic is very, very, very bulky. It is very bulky. However, it is, it's even bulkier, boosted by a Violite. However, it is very weak. It is not able to do a lot of damage, which is very nice, and something that I can easily take advantage of. Can come as a way for me to not be able to just spam Dragon moves with my Salamence. However, other than that, it's not going to be doing too much. It's basically going to allow, I can easily pivot around to Thunder Wave and Toxic are going to be very annoying. However, that's about the worst it's going to do to me. Audino, definitely expect this thing to come as it can potentially stall out something like my Celesteela, depending on what kind of set he brings. And depending on what kind of set I bring, it can also take on stuff like, maybe take on my Mega Gardevoir if I don't run Focus Blast. It can take hits from generally everything on my team. It's pretty fat. It has Regenerator, has Wish Protect. It's very decent. However, it is also very not strong. It's also very weak. Here's a Regigigas, and this is crippled heavily by Slow Start, so it can definitely come if it runs Sub, Thunder Wave, something. It might be able to get that Slow Start off and start being a huge threat, and I gotta be very careful about that and not let that happen, so I have ways to take care of it, should I fear that thing coming in. He finally has a Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill. Great U-turner, best U-turner in the game, very fast, very strong, very weak, or very frail, I should say. I should be saying frail, very frail. So anyway, talk about how I built this team, shall we? Talk about what I decided to bring, what I decided to do. So, when I saw this matchup, when I typed everything in, the first thing I knew immediately that I wanted was my Lycanroc Dusk. My Lycanroc Dusk destroys him so very much. I forgot what I named you. I named you Blue Moon, right? Blue Moon. So I wanted my Lycanroc Dusk. It is very good against his team. His team does not like something that is very strong or something strong like Lycanroc Dusk with the rock step it has. Especially since he only has 2 rock resists, those being the Excadrill and Crocodile, and maybe Greninja if it like Quick Spikes or something. Other than that, he does not have good rock resist, and he has a lot weak to rock. He has the Togetic, he has the Scolipede, the Dragonite, the Swallow, the Mega Beedrill, and those also don't like a Celorock picking them off. So I knew I wanted Stone Edge. I knew I wanted a Celorock. After throwing around a lot of the other moves, I realized that the only other move I would need for coverage is Brick Break. Fighting type move hits both Crocodile and the Excadrill really hard. And I didn't know what I wanted in that last slot. However, I did know that I wanted 220 speed, which is going to just barely edge me out over, I believe, is it the Crocodile? I think it's the Crocodile. Yeah. So that just gets me over the Crocodile, which is very good. I'm not too worried about the Regigigas because slow start anyway. I'm going to be not staying in on that. I'm going to be roaring it out, etc. And I knew that I wanted, I believe it's this much HP. This much HP. And this much HP is going to allow me to take a +3 extreme speed, I believe from an Adamant Dragonite. So the reason behind this is if I'm full health Lycanroc versus a Dragonite, I want to be able to collect Stone Edge. And Stone Edge will pop his weakness policy as he probably Dragon Dances, knowing that he could take it. And the only way he's going to out-prioritize me and stop a Celorock is extreme speed. And with this HP, I'm going to be able to live that and finish him off with the Celorock to hopefully prevent that thing from sweeping me. Because a Dragonite with weakness policy is very, very scary and not something I want to face. And then finally, I threw the rest into attack, and because I did not need to outspeed anything other than Crocodile, I can run an Adamant Nature. So, I didn't know what else I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted a Light Orb. I didn't know if I wanted Stealth Rocks, SD, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and leave Lycanroc Dust there for now. And I knew that I also wanted my Celesteela. My Celesteela has a very, very good chance of sweeping him. And I will say, I threw this set back and forth, up and down, for frickin' ever. I went to Special, I went to Mono Attack, I went to Leech Seed, I went to Defensive, Offensive. I went through just about any single Celesteela set I could have possibly got. But I mainly wanted an offensive set. Offensive, I knew had the easy ability to potentially sweep him. And it ended up being a battle between Physical and Special, Mono Attacking, and 3 attacks, Leech Seed, Sub. And after so long, I realized that I was going to have a very tough time of breaking through Audino either way. So I knew that I wanted a Z-Crystal, and I knew that I wanted Flying EMZ. So Flying EMZ is going to give me that ability to potentially break through that thing, should I be able to weaken that. I knew I wanted Autotomize, Heavy Slam, Earthquake. After I realized this, I knew I wanted a physical set to potentially do more damage, because I'm going to be doing more with a Z-Fly than a Z Air Slash. I knew that I needed 220 speed EVs. Right there. maximize my attack. I don't really need too much bulk because I can set up on a lot of his team. And what this is going to do, I believe it's going to allow me to outspeed a Mega Beedrill at +2 speed. So that is fine and good. Very nice. It might allow me to outspeed something else. I might be a Scarfoopa, but I can't remember. So I have this. This is potentially my late game sweeper and does a lot of work to his team and can easily set up versus him. It sets up on Togetic, on Excadrill, on Crocodile, on Scoldopede, even on Greninja. It basically sets up on virtually everything. It can also give me a good check to stuff like just about everything, because it's going to force it out, because not a lot on his team can break through me. So that's very good. Now, I have 2 offensive Mons, and I really wanted some bulk. And looking at his team, I noticed that 2 of my Mons may be able to just sit there in front of him. Well, specifically 1. I knew 1 of my Mons would be able to sit there in front of him and basically be able to switch in on just about everything on this team and not have to care about it. And that is my Gliscor. My Gliscor literally just sits in front of him forever. And can basically never lose. So, of course, I wanted the Toxicor, and I wanted Poison Heal. I knew I wanted 204, because I believe that's the best number I can have. It's divisible by 8, gives me the most of my Toxicor. And I knew that I wanted this much speed. Because Hoopa is a very big threat, and I knew I wanted enough speed to make sure I could outspeed that and click a move versus it. I knew I wanted Protect, so I could get as much HP back as possible. I wanted to constantly be getting Toxicor Peel, because I would not always be able to Roost. I knew I wanted Roost, just in case I could Roost. I knew I wanted EQ, and the last move I debated for a little bit, but I ultimately settled on Knockoff. What Knockoff does is it allows me to hit the Hoopa. Again, I outspeed that, and I'm going to be able to take anything from a Scarfoopa unless it's HP Ice. I'm going to be able to knock off items. I can knock off that weakness policy off the Dragonite. I can knock off leftovers from Aldino. I can knock off whatever from Regigigas, the Eviolite from Togetic, Excadrill's potential Scarf, and especially Swellow's Specs. So that's very nice. Now, in terms of the rest of the EVs, I ended up going with this much Spadef, and I believe that's going to allow me to take a Specs Boom Burst or something from the Hoopa, and then throw the rest into defense and just that 4 to balance it out. So this is my Gliscor. This Gliscor easily, as long as I get my Toxicor off, which I likely can as long as I lead this and click Protect, I can easily just beat half of this team. I do. I beat anything that's not like, if it's SD Scoldopede with Aqua Tail, then I have to be afraid. Dragonite, I've got to be afraid of Ice Punch, and Greninja, Swellow, I got to be careful of those because they easily destroy me. Excadrill does not beat me. Togetic needs HP Ice. I outspeed Hoopa. Regigigas might be able to beat me if it's sub, but I have other checks to that later down the road, because I realized that during the team building. I beat Excadrill, I can beat Crocodile without Ice Fang and Bulk Up, I can beat Aldino, I can beat Mega Beedrill. Very nice one to have. However, I knew, I kind of, at this point, knew, like, the general shape, what the rest of the team was going to look like, looking at the matchup. I knew that I would want for offense. I knew I was going to have one more Mon for offense, because I really like a balanced team. And after back and forth, I knew I was not going to bring Licky. I wanted a Wish Patcher, just in case. So I ended up with my Mega Gardevoir. However, I also knew, actually, yeah, did I? Oh, I didn't choose a move, choose an ability. Whoops. I have my Mega Gardevoir here, who is Dove Cameron. And I'm actually going to leave the rest for a second. And I knew that I wanted Wish Protect. I knew I wanted Hyper Voice because it's Mega Gardevoir. I knew I wanted Wish, and I knew I wanted Protect. The question was, what did I want as my coverage move? Did I want HP Fire? Did I want Focus Blast? Did I want Psyshock? Did I want whatever? And I realized something. Excadrill has to be Spadef to really take me on, and Mega Beedrill does not take a hit from me in any way. Neither does Scoldopede, and I have switched into both of them. So I ended up with Will-O-Wisp. If anything wants to switch into me, I can Will-O-Wisp that, and burning it is very, very nice. This is really cool. I can Wish up on switches and potentially beat stuff. I can burn things like the Dragonite, so I think it's going to extreme speed me, and I can live. I can burn just about everything, especially Excadrill on the switch. Hyper Voice just is a nuke versus him. His resists are offensive and fairly frail. Excadrill can, like, if it's defensive, it can take more than 2, but if not, it's going to be taking a lot from 1. So, I wanted this. I wanted max special attack. I wanted this much with a timid nature, and that's once again going to allow me to outspeed the Crocodile, and the rest in HP. Very standard. Hyper Voice is just so good against this team, I can just spam it all I want, and Wish Protect is just good for potentially healing out my Celesteela, which may have to switch into a couple things sometimes. So, that's that. And at this point, I was going back because I wasn't sure what to do. I wanted to fill in this because I wasn't sure what I wanted to go forward with, and I just wanted to, you know, clear my mind, finish up what I have so far. And at this point, I knew that I would want to weaken stuff like the Extra Drill since I have Gardevoir on here. I want to be able to spam Hyper Voice with no problem, not worrying about Extra Drill coming in and maybe my Gliscor being weak. So, the best way to weaken Extra Drill, if that's one of it switches to my Lycanroc, I wanted to guarantee get rid of that 50-50. And the best way that I get rid of that 50-50 is with Sub. And I didn't want Life Orb, I didn't want E-Belt, because I wanted the extra boost no matter what. Brick Break was going to be doing a lot to Excadrill and Crocodile without the extra belt. So, and I wanted that damage, I wanted that extra damage off on the Audino especially. So I ended up going with Stone Plate. So, that's what we got so far. And at this point I knew, what do I do? I'm obviously building all this, but it's not going to matter because Greninja's just going to come in and Greninja's going to get 1,000,000 kills. So how do I stop that is what ended up being the question in my head. So, after I had to find something that could take on the physical set decently well while also taking on the special set. While I thought, personally, that I would bring a physical set, it doesn't mean other people wouldn't bring a special set, because special is just so easy to bring, and spam Hydro Punch, spam Dark Pulse, spam Ice Beam, Hand Power Fire, all this stuff, which is all stab. So, after numerous calcs, I found out that this baby right here would be able to do just what I needed. So this is Deathstalker. And Deathstalker will definitely be able to help me versus the Greninja problem. Depending on what its set is. If it's Water Shuriken, I'm in for a bad time. But I wanted Assault Vest, and I wanted Battle Armor, because I cannot be struck by a critical hit. Frickin' Greninja. And for Moose, I knew I wanted Pursuit. I knew I wanted Pursuit, just to catch that thing if it tried to switch out. I wanted Knockoff, because it's knockoff and spammable. I wanted Brick Break for stuff like the, stuff like, I'm sorry for that, stuff like the Excadrill, stuff like the Audino, stuff like the Regigigas, stuff like the Crocodile. And then finally, I believe the last move was Poison Jab, just for stab and hitting the Togetic. So, I wanted this much speed. I wanted a Jolly Nature, I'm sorry for that. And this allows me, once again, to outspeed Hoopa. This also allows me to check Hoopa, which is very nice. I'm not going to be taking too much from just about anything unless it's like all-out pummeling. And I can outspeed that and click Knockoff or Pursuit. I do not need any attack investment to OHKO Hoopa with Pursuit if it stays in, and that's Cold Berry, so I just maximize my Spadef to take as many hits as possible. I don't get 2 KO'd by Low Kick if it's Life Orb. I don't get 2 KO'd by Hydro Pump if it's Life Orb from the Protein Greninja. And I can knock that thing off, I can weaken it, I can Brick Break it. Mainly I think Brick Breaking because I like Ice Beam is going to be great. So, or Ice Beam is going to be something he's going to be clicking versus me a lot just looking at my team. Or Ice Punch, and Brick Break is going to be super effective against that. So, that's my Drapion. And then lastly, I needed Stealth Rocks, so I ended up with an Empoleon. And Empoleon I specifically wanted for the reason that it also provides secondary check to some of his Mons, which takes some of the ease off of this, my Gliscor. This also helped me check stuff like Ground Spam, Excadrill, and Crocodile to an extent. So I knew that that would also help take the pressure off a little bit. This took Hoopa and Greninja on decently well. And this would also help me check stuff like the Scolipede. While SD is very scary, I can check it, which is very nice. And I believe, yeah, so I have leftovers. And this also helps me check the Swallow, which is very nice because it takes some of the pressure off of Celesteela. So I knew I wanted Stealth Rock, and I wanted Roar 100%. I definitely wanted Roar. Roar would allow me to switch this into Dragonite and roar it out so it wouldn't set up on my Gliscor. So, very good there. I wanted Scald for damage, and then I wanted Defog to not be spike stacked. So I wanted max HP. I believe I ended up with 204 in defense. And for the rest of my EVs, I have 20 here. I have 4 here, I have 28 there, and the 28 is going to allow me to not be speed crept by stuff like the Audino. And then I have a careful nature. Or calm nature, I'm sorry. And this calm nature, what's really interesting is it actually aligns these three. It actually makes these 3 stats all 134, which I found really funny. But the Scald, I believe, allows me to break certain subs. It's not gonna. It allows me to break the sub on, what is it? I don't remember. It allows me to break a sub, I'm pretty sure. Roar allows me to phase out stuff like the Dragonite, try to set up, defog, getting rid of rocks and everything. And overall, at that point, I think I was done with the team. I didn't really have a lot that I wanted to change. I felt very confident in this. I felt very confident in my 2 offensive lead masterminds being able to handle just about anything. I had my bulk, I had this as support, offensive support, and I had these 2 just about to check just about everything on his team. I also wanted this male. Whoops. So that's the team I ended up going in with. And that's that. Let me jump into the battle. Let's see what happens. So we are here now. Correctly, I should say, because I forgot to do the layout the first time. But we are here, and as you can see, EXP Awesome has decided to bring his Greninja Protean Greninja, his Dragonite, his Excadrill, his Swellow, his Beedrill, and his Togetic. Now, when I saw this, I was very, very happy, to be honest. Mainly because there was no Crocodile. So knockoff is very, not there. Yeah, there's no Scolopage, no Spike Stacking, no Audino, so I could save my Z move for something else, and of course, no Hoopa or Regigigas. No Hoopa was very nice because that also freed up my Drapion to more be able to just check the Greninja and only be there for that instead of having to constantly switch in on both. So, with that being very nice, looking at the matchup, I knew that I wanted to lead off with my Gliscor. It got its Protect off turn 1. It could Scout just about anything. It matched up well just about versus anything on his team. If he led the Swellow, I could see if he's going to U-turn or Boom Burst. I handled the Dragonite to an extent. I could see if he's going to Ice Punch. And actually, I feel like Dragonite would be the only thing I wouldn't stay in against, maybe because it would Dragon Dance. But I could handle Excadrill, Beedrill, Protect on both, get my Toxic Orb off, not get knocked off by the Beedrill. And if he led Greninja, then I had a decent switch into it, which only had to be there for that. So, without further ado, let us jump into this battle. Very, very happy to see this matchup. Now, I knew that my Lycanroc was going to have a lot of fun if I could get rid of that Excadrill, which is very easy, as it is only only way to switch into my Mega Gardevoir. So he is going to lead, in fact, with his Protean Greninja, as I'm going to lead with my Gliscor. And as I said, I am just going to go for the Protect. I have no reason not to. I can scout to see what this thing is going to do. I can get my Toxic Orb off at the same time. And I can scout to see if he's physical or special. And he is actually going to reveal that he is a special Greninja, which is very good because my team is more equipped to handle a full special Greninja. So, with that, I have no reason to stay in here. I got my Toxic Orb off. I'm going to go hard out into my Drapion, as it is my main check to this, and he is going to fire off this low kick, predicting me to go out into, I believe, my Celesteela, and he's actually a mixed one, and this is going to reveal to be no attack investment, which is very nice for me. And here I'm just going to go, I believe, for the knock off, doing as much damage as I possibly can to this thing, and getting rid of its Life Orb so I can take on further hits. So, I'm going to click Knock Off. He actually switches back to Ice, which is very good because I'm going to get more damage off on this. And I know at this point that Pursuit should be able to kill this thing even if he doesn't switch out. So I'm going to go ahead and go for that Pursuit, and he is going, in fact, to die, which is very nice because now the biggest threat to my entire team is now dead. And I can save this Drapion for a sack fodder later. Or I can stay in, depends on what I want to do. And here, I believe I'm going to just, I'm going to save this. I'm going to go out into my Gliscor. I want to save that for sack fodder later because this might be a very offensive game and I might need the sack fodder as much sack fodder as I need. Or as I can get, I should say. I'm sorry. So, Mega Evolution is going to come off. He's going to Mega Evolve with his Beedrill, and he's going to go for the U-turn, trying to get initiative, which he has no reason not to. And I believe here he is going to go out into his Dragonite to try and set up on me, as he does do exactly that. However, I'm not going to stay in on here. If I knock off and he is Z-move, I'm going to be in a decent amount of trouble. And I just want to go ahead and go out to my Empoleon. If he attacks me head-on, I can take it, and I can potentially get on my rocks. If he Dragon Dances, I'm going to go ahead and click Roar. I am, unless he's Life Orb, I believe, unless he's Adamant Life Orb, I am out of range for a +1 EQ. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Roar. As he's going to Dragon Dance again, not predicting me to have Roar, which is very nice for me, because now my Empoleon is in with full health and can check this thing again later on. So I'm going to go ahead and Roar out, see what I get in. If I get an Excadrill, I knew I was going to switch into something like my Gliscor, and if I got something like Togetic, it was perfectly fine, because I knew I could... I believe I put on my rocks, specifically, as he's going to switch out into his Green Hornet, into his Beedrill. So, very interesting play. However, I get some decent momentum, because if I stay in and take a drill run, I'm going to be weak to Dragonite. So, I guess he predicted me to go for rocks, which is a very good play. However, I'm not going to stay in here. I don't want damage off on my Empoleon. I want to keep that thing healthy. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Gliscor, or my Drapion. I'm going to sack that thing off to the drill run, which I do avoid. However, he is going to just go ahead and go for U-turn. Kind of sucks, but also, like, not really, to be honest. Personally, I think it does suck for him more, because now he can't just keep it in his Beedrill. If he kept it in his Beedrill, then, like, anything I went out to, he could have just U-turned out on, except for, like, my Lycanroc. But it goes out into the Excadrill, which is fine, because I'm not going to go to my Celesteela, which, at this point, can basically win. He can go for Rock Slide, and that does nothing. Absolutely no damage. I know that I can go for the Totemize here, and I can start doing a lot of damage to his entire team. So I'm going to go for the Totemize, get my +2 speed. I am going to become nimble, unfortunately. However, I'm still going to be doing lots of damage with the Heavy Slam. And here, the Heavy Slam. I'm going to go for Earthquake here. I know he's going to live it, which is fine. Actually, I think it was a roll. I'm not sure. Yeah. But he's going to go for Rock Slide, and at this point, I know that I outspeed everything on his team, and I know the only thing that can take a hit is the Togetic. So at this point, it's looking like a wrap already. Unfortunately, I'm a smart person, and I have a brain. And I used that brain, and I was like, I'm going to click the Steel move. Oh, no, I clicked Earthquake. I think this next turn is when I said, I'm going to click the Steel move. So I click a Totemize the second time, which is very stupid of me. And he goes for Defog, thank God it doesn't go for Thunder Wave. But yeah, so shout out to me for being stupid. However, I'm still able to set up on something like the Beedrill or on this Togetic itself, and I'm just going to get him to switch out. If I had Heavy Slammed on that first turn and just double Heavy Slam back there, just swept his entire team right there, and that would have been GG. However, now I have to play this game, and he got rid of the rocks, so now I have to put them back up. I'm going to go out to my Empoleon, and I'm going to try and force some stuff. So basically, I want to put up rocks, force him to default, and then get in my Lycanroc later. However, he's going to switch out hard into his Excadrill right away. I'm going to actually try and get a burn off on this Togetic with the Scald. So as he switches in, I'm going for Scald actually, and I'm going to kill the Excadrill. I knew that if he stayed in, it would be okay if he did whatever, and I could get a Brock the next turn. However, he switched out to Excadrill. Beautiful on my part and for me, and he's going to go out to Dragonite, still multi-scale intact. I guess he's trying to bait Ice Beam. However, I'm never going to give him the opportunity. At this point, I'm very confident that he's weakness policy. Very, very confident that he's weakness policy. I'm going to roar this thing out. Goodbye. Do not want this thing in. Weakness policy is very scary. That boost is going to be very hard to deal with, so I cannot have rocks up, and I don't think I want to get damage off of my Lycanroc just yet, unless I'm positive I can handle that Dragonite. So I'm going to put up rocks here, and I'm going to, he's actually going to defog immediately. However, I want to get my Lycanroc in on a defog so I can threaten this thing out and not take damage. Since I know he's going to start spamming defog, I'm going to go ahead and do just that, go straight to my Lycanroc, and unfortunately for me, he goes to the Dazzling Gleam, or actually goes to Roost. Oh, thank God. That's right. So here I make a misplay. I wanted to keep health so I could take Extreme Speed from Dragonite, but I just go for Sub, predicting him to switch out. Poor play on my part, because he's just going to Dazzling Gleam. Should have just Stone Edge twice. Doesn't matter. Now that I know he's going to stay in, though, I'm going to go ahead and kill this Togetic, because it's the only thing that can take a hit from my Celesteela at this point, if rocks are up. So I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. I'm going to do that much damage to this Togetic, and that's going to put it in range of a Cellar so I don't have to risk Stone Edge next turn. So he's going to get some damage off on me. I'm going to go for a Cellar I'm going to kill that Togetic. I can handle a Dragonite decently well at +1. It's not the best for me, but I can handle it, depending on its coverage and everything. So now they go that to this. I'm okay if he Dragonite. My goal is to break. Do not give him that weakness policy and break his multi-skill. He goes for Earthquake. He's going to kill me. Perfectly fine. Lycanroc didn't do everything I wanted, but it still did something. So, unfortunately, Lycanroc goes down. However, I am now able to go out into my Mega Gardevoir, which I know outspeeds, which I know takes a extreme speed, and I can just click Hyper Voice. And Mega Beedrill is not taking this. The Dragonite is not taking this. And his last Mon, which is the... don't remember. The Swellow is not going to take this. So I'm going to Hyper Voice. I'm going to kill this Dragonite, which is very beautiful. And it is going to fall over. The second biggest threat to my team is now dead. Mega Beedrill is not a threat. At this point, the game is all but locked up. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm actually going to, I believe, preserve differential. I know the thing's going for Poison Jab. It has to. I'm going to go out to my Cannoneer on the Poison Jab. If I stayed in and he Poison Jabbed me, I was going to win 3-0. If I switched out and he predicted it, I was going to win 3-0. So, in my opinion, my best play was to go out to Celesteela, preserve differential, potentially automize up and kill the last two members of his team. And win 4-0 over 3-0 and get that extra differential point. So he's going to U-turn now into a Swallow as I go for the Autotomize. And I know this thing might be able to live a Heavy Slam depending on its investment, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go ahead and fire off the Supersonic Sky Strike. Fire off that Fly-In EMZ. And we are going to see this gigantic hunk of metal fly into the sky and take out this Swallow. At this point, it's a locked game. Very good game to EXP Awesome, in my opinion. He played to the best of his ability. I don't know why he kept dancing up on my Empoleon, but I'm sure he has his reasons. Very happy with how the game went, all in all. Celesteela picking up a couple kills and everything. Gliscor doing virtually nothing. Always have that one Mon that does basically nothing. But here I'm just going to Heavy Slam, and we're going to finish off this Beedrill, and that is going to be ICBA Week 5. And ICBA Week 6, as you saw earlier, is going to be against Omega Jolteon and his Chicago Caracostas, who is a very scary team, an even scarier team. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed ICBA Week 5. I'm sorry that this is late due to just technology issues in general, just slowing me down. However, I think everything's fixed, and I hope that Week 6 will be on time, as well as my W8PA game, which will, I think, now be on Saturdays. So, look forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.